Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. The world will drive EVs that would say made in India, says PM Modi, as he flags off Maruti Suzuki's first electric vehicle, VITARA, in Gujarat. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to visit Japan and China from Thursday. Key summits, bilateral talks on agenda. Visit aims to boost New Delhi's ties with Tokyo, Beijing. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh commissions advanced multi-mission stealth frigates INS Udaygiri and INS Himgiri. Calls for stronger maritime preparedness to face security challenges. And former Sri Lanka President Ranil Wickremesinghe gets bail, was arrested last week on charges of misusing state funds. Taking large strides towards becoming Atmanirbhar, that is self-reliant in the field of green energy, Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the Green Mobility Initiatives in Hansalpur in the western state of Gujarat on Tuesday. Prime Minister Modi inaugurated two historic milestones at Suzuki motor plant in Hansalpur, Ahmedabad. Together, these landmark initiatives underscore India's emergence as a global hub for green mobility while advancing Prime Minister's commitment to Make in India. PM Modi inaugurated and flagged off the e-VITARA, Suzuki's first global strategic battery electric vehicle. The Made in India BEVs will be exported to more than 100 countries, including advanced markets such as Europe and Japan. With this milestone, India will now serve as Suzuki's global manufacturing hub for electric vehicles. Further, taking large strides towards becoming self-reliant in the field of green energy, Prime Minister Modi also inaugurated the next phase of India's battery ecosystem, marking the commencement of local production of hybrid battery electrodes at TDS lithium-ion battery plant in Gujarat. The plant, a joint venture of Toshiba, Denso and Suzuki, will boost domestic manufacturing and clean energy innovation. This development ensures that more than 80% of the battery value will now be manufactured within India. Addressing the gathering, PM Modi stressed that Made in India electric vehicles are now driving onto the global stage, saying it reflects our nation's growing strength in green mobility. He added that the world will now drive EVs that say Made in India. Underlining that the most critical component of the EV ecosystem is the battery, the Prime Minister said that until a few years ago, batteries in India were entirely imported. He added that to strengthen EV manufacturing, it was essential for India to begin domestic battery production.
Suzuki, जापान भारत में मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कर रही है और जो गाड़ियां बन रही है वो वापस जापान को एक्सपोर्ट की जा रही है। ये जापान और भारत के रिश्तों की मजबूती तो है ही, भारत को लेकर ग्लोबल कंपनियों के भरोसे को भी ये आपके सामने प्रस्तुत करता है। एक तरह से मारुति सुजुकी जैसी कंपनियां मेक इन इंडिया की ब्रांड एम्बेसडर बन चुकी है। लगातार 4 साल से मारुति भारत की सबसे बड़ी कार एक्सपोर्टर है। अब आज से ईवी एक्सपोर्ट को भी उसी स्केल पर ले जाने की शुरुआत हो रही है। अब दुनिया के दर्जनों देशों में जो ईवी चलेगी उसमें लिखा होगा made in India.
India's Ministry of External Affairs today briefed the media about Prime Minister Narendra Modi's upcoming visit to Japan and China. The ministry's spokesman informed that PM Modi will attend the 15th India-Japan Annual Summit, besides reviewing the special strategic and global partnership with his counterpart.
Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi is embarking on an official visit to Japan on the evening of 28th August. He will be in Japan on the 29th and the 30th of August for holding the 15th India-Japan Annual Summit with the Prime Minister of Japan, His Excellency Shigeru Ishiba. This is a significant visit for several reasons. It's Prime Minister Modi's first annual summit with Prime Minister Ishiba. It is also his first standalone visit to Japan in nearly 7 years. He last visited for the annual summit in 2018. Since then, of course, he has visited Japan, but that has been for multilateral engagements and other ceremonial events. So this will be a visit that will be fully dedicated to the bilateral agenda between India and Japan. This is also Prime Minister's 8th visit to Japan since he took office in 2014, and reflects the very high priority that this particular relationship has foreign relations.
In the second leg of his visit, Prime Minister Modi will visit Tianjin, China for the 25th meeting of the Council of Heads of State of the Shanghai Cooperation Council on the 31st of this month and the 1st of next month at the invitation of President Xi Jinping of China.
The SCO was established with the primary goal of countering three evils of terrorism, separatism and extremism, which continue to remain a challenge. Today, as a regional platform, there is a broader range of sectors of cooperation among the SCO members. The SCO comprises 10 members. In addition to India, they include Belarus, China, Iran, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Pakistan, Russia, Tajikistan and Uzbekistan. There are a number of dialogue partners and observers also. India has been a member of the SCO since 2017, and earlier it was an observer since 2005. During the period of its membership, India has held the chair of the SCO Council of Heads of Government in 2020 and of the SCO Council of Heads of State during 2022-2023. The program elements for the upcoming 25th SCO Summit in Tianjin include a welcome banquet dinner in the evening of 31st August, and the main summit will be held on the next day, Monday, 1st September. And in addition to this, Prime Minister is expected to hold some bilateral meetings on the sidelines of the SCO Summit.
Indian Navy today commissioned the latest state-of-the-art Project 17A multi-mission stealth frigates Udaygiri and Himgiri at the Visakhapatnam Naval Base. India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh presided over the ceremony. This was the first occasion when two frontline surface combatants constructed at two different shipyards were commissioned simultaneously, underscoring the growing maritime importance of India's eastern seaboard. Upon commissioning, the two frigates joined the Eastern Fleet, strengthening India's ability to safeguard its maritime interests across the Indian Ocean region.
Technological prowess and strategic intent. Few tributes to India's maritime power stand taller than the mighty Udaygiri and Himgiri.
On the occasion, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh said the commissioning of INS Udaygiri and INS Himgiri is a visual depiction of our dream of a self-reliant India coming true. It is also proof of our vision and commitment. I congratulate the Indian Navy on this occasion.
INS उदयगिरी और INS हिमगिरी की कमिश्निंग के इस हिस्टोरिक मोमेंट पर आप सबके बीच उपस्थित होना मुझे बेहद अच्छा लगा है। मैं राष्ट्र की तरफ से इंडियन नेवी के मेन एंड वीमेन के प्रति कृतज्ञता व्यक्त करता हूं, जो पूरे डेडिकेशन के साथ राष्ट्र की सेवा में लगे हुए हैं। INS उदयगिरी और INS हिमगिरी की कमीशनिंग आत्मनिर्भर भारत के सपने की एक साकार होती तस्वीर है। साथ ही हमारे विजन और कमिटमेंट का भी मैं मानता हूं कि यह प्रमाण है। मैं इंडियन नेवी को इस अवसर पर और विशेष बधाई देता हूं।
Speaking at the commissioning ceremony of INS Himgiri and INS Udaygiri in Visakhapatnam, India's Chief of Naval Staff Admiral Dinesh K. Tripathi highlighted that these two stealth frigates represent a significant milestone as the 100th and 101st warships designed by India's own Warship Design Bureau.
इस अवसर पर मैं माननीय प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के शब्द भी याद करना चाहूँगा, जिन्होंने कहा था, सुरक्षा का मूल सिद्धांत यह है कि आपके पास अपने यूनिक और कस्टमाइज्ड सिस्टम्स होने चाहिए। यूनिकनेस और सरप्राइज एलिमेंट तभी हो सकते हैं जब उपकरण आपके खुद के देश में विकसित हों। इस संदर्भ में हमारे लिए ये बहुत ही गौरव की बात है कि हिमगिरी और उदयगिरी भारतीय नौसेना के अपने वॉरशिप डिज़ाइन ब्यूरो द्वारा डिज़ाइन किए गए 100वें और 101वें शिप्स हैं।
India's Chief of Defence Staff General Anil Chauhan highlighted the ascendancy of technology over strategy, delivering the keynote address at Ran Samvad 2025 in central Indian city of Mahou. The CDS said, India is a peace-loving nation, but we cannot be pacifists. He also called for swift and decisive joint responses across domains enabled by Atmanirbharta in defence and integrated logistics.
Stood on the side of peace. We are a peace-loving nation, but don't mistake, we cannot be pacifists. I think peace without power is utopian. As a Viksit Bharat, we also need to be Shashakt, Surakshit and Atmanirbhar, not only in technologies but also in ideas and also in practice. Hence, there is a need to increase awareness on all segments of our society on doctrinal and conceptual aspects. That's the academic pursuits of how war is fought and practical and actual war fighting techniques and tactics.
India's Ministry of Defence organised Ran Samvad 2025 in Madhya Pradesh, Mahou. Our correspondent Nandita Dagar reports how this unique tri-service seminar on war, warfare and war fighting is designed to prepare the soldiers of tomorrow. It brings together perspectives ranging from ancient military strategies to cutting-edge concepts such as AI and modern warfare.
What are the lessons that we can learn from the still ongoing, very successful Operation Sindoor? What are the tactics and procedures we need to adopt from the conflicts raging across the globe? From the 3-year-old war between Russia and NATO in Ukraine, the very short Israel versus Iran war, and the pounding of Gaza by Israel for almost 2 years. That is why Ran Samvad conclave, literally meaning conversations about war, is being held here at the Army War College in Mahou. This tri-service conclave aims to prepare scholar soldiers of tomorrow, combining the ancient Indian wisdom of military strategists such as Chanakya and the emerging futuristic technologies such as AI, robotics and autonomous weapons. The theme of this year's conclave is the impact of technology on warfare, because Indian armed forces believe that we cannot fight tomorrow's wars with yesterday's weapons. With camera person Manmohan in Mahou, Madhya Pradesh, this is Nandita Dagar for DD India.
And still to come on this edition of DD India Live. Leader of Britain's anti-migration reform UK party, Nigel Farage, unveils plans to repeal rights laws and deport asylum seekers. And Morgan Stanley's report highlights India's rise as world's most desired consumer market.
This week on Defense Dynamics, we decode India-France jet engine collaboration. We explain how the Agni 5 test reinforces peace through strength, and how INS Himgiri showcases India's indigenous naval power. We also analyze Israel's Rampage missile and how it boosts Indian Air Force's precision strike edge. and why Indian Army Chief's visit to Algeria so important. Sharp insights, clear explanations, Defense Dynamics this Wednesday at 8 p.m. only on DD India.
You're watching DD India Live. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj. And in Britain, migration has surged back to the political spotlight. Reform UK leader Nigel Farage has branded the arrival of small boats as an invasion and threat to national security. Riding high in opinion polls, Farage pledged that his party would pull Britain out of European Convention on Human Rights, scrap the Human Rights Act and override treaties blocking forced deportations. His remarks come amid growing protests outside hotels housing asylum seekers, fueled by public safety concerns after a string of assault cases.
We will stop the boats is by detaining and deporting absolutely anyone that comes via that route. And if we do that, the boats will stop coming within days, because there will be no incentive to pay a trafficker to get into this country. And unless we start deporting people, I predicted this would turn into, and yes, I use the word, invasion. But 180,000 people later, what other word could possibly describe what has been going on? It is an invasion, as these young men illegally break into our country.
Lithuania's parliament on Tuesday voted in favor of letting Social Affairs Minister Inga Ruginienė seek to form a new cabinet, bringing her a step closer to leading the government. Ruginienė of ruling Social Democrats Party must still get the president to approve her cabinet and will face a second vote by parliament in September to confirm its manifesto. Lebanon will come up with a plan on August 31st to convince Hezbollah to disarm. U.S. Special Envoy for Syria and Lebanon Thomas Barrack said on Tuesday. Israel will give a counter-proposal when it receives Lebanon's plan, Barrack said after meeting with the Lebanese president, adding that the plan Lebanon was preparing would not necessarily involve military action to persuade Hezbollah to give up its weapons. Israel signaled it would reduce its military presence in southern Lebanon if the Lebanese armed forces acted to disarm Hezbollah, according to a statement from the Israeli Prime Minister's office. This weekend, it will be exactly 10 years that then German Chancellor Angela Merkel will give an important commitment to refugees coming to Germany, promising that the country would be able to integrate them. Lars Halter is with Deutsche Welle and joins me from Berlin. Hi Lars, how are the refugees doing in Germany?
Yeah, that's a bit tricky. Even though a lot of them actually work, they're not all doing great. Generally, refugees tend to earn less money than the German average. To be precise, they make about 70% of what the average German makes. But the main reason is that they also often work in basic jobs with no specific qualifications. Also, compared to the general population, they are much younger on average and they have fewer years on the job. So, of course, refugees are getting the same money for the same work, but they do not necessarily have the same jobs. Many are in low-paying jobs. Half of the working refugees are actually classified as help, which is technically the lowest level in the hierarchy and definitely the lowest paying. However, 40% are working as skilled laborers and 6% are in fact considered experts or specialists, and that includes many doctors in hospitals around the country.
All right, Lars, we leave it there. And Sri Lanka's former president Ranil Wickremesinghe was granted bail today by the Colombo Fort Magistrates Court in a case where he was accused of misusing state funds. Owing to his deteriorating health, Wickremesinghe did not appear in person but joined the proceedings via Zoom. He was arrested last Friday and remanded until today over allegations of diverting state resources for a private overseas trip during his presidency in 2023. Soon after being taken into custody by the Criminal Investigation Department, the 76-year-old leader was admitted to the prison hospital and later transferred to Colombo National Hospital, where he now remains in intensive care. Let's take a look at other stories now making news around the world. Preparations for Venice Film Festival 2025 are in full swing as it sets to begin on Wednesday. The director of Film Festival, Alberto Barbera, said that it was the comeback of a cinema which has invested a lot in reflecting on the major problems of our contemporary world. The Toila cisterns, which were a network of ancient water reservoirs, have been included in the Arab Architectural and Urban Heritage List by Arab League Educational, Cultural and Scientific Organization. This recognition has encouraged cultural pride and has raised hopes for the site to gain international attention. Argentina witnessed Buenos Aires Tango World Championship with couples from across the globe showcasing their talents. The event is a part of a two-week festival featuring over 500 activities and performances by acclaimed artists. The festival will run till September 2nd. A well-known monk and an influencer were arrested in Thailand on charges of embezzling temple fund. Known as Luang Por Longkot, the former abbot of Wat Phra Bat Nam Phu, a temple renowned for its long-standing care of HIV/AIDS patients, was arrested while attempting to leave to city. India is on track to become the world's most sought-after consumer market, according to the latest Morgan Stanley report. Despite global uncertainty triggered by Trump tariff blitz and concerns over slowing GDP growth, the report notes a rising credit to GDP ratio and a growing manufacturing share of GDP, both seen as signs of more diversified and resilient economic base. Morgan Stanley projects that India could achieve fiscal consolidation with a primary surplus within the next 3 years. This would help reduce the saving investment gap. Inflation volatility is also expected to fall further. The 7th Foreign Office consultations between India and Kuwait were co-chaired by Additional Secretary Gulf Asim R. Mahajan and Assistant FM for Asia Affairs Ministry of Foreign Affairs Ambassador Sami Essa Jor Hayat of Kuwait on Tuesday in the national capital. Both sides reviewed the entire spectrum of the strategic partnership, including in areas of political, trade and investment, defense, cultural and people-to-people ties. Discussions focused on ongoing initiatives and avenues to further deepen bilateral relations. Some weather-related updates now, as a landslide has occurred at Ardkuari on Vaishno Devi route, with several people feared trapped and reports of injuries. The Sri Mata Vaishno Devi Shrine Board said rescue operations are underway with sufficient manpower and machinery deployed. Situation has been alarming in entire Jammu due to incessant rains, causing most water bodies to flow above the danger mark and submerging several low-lying areas and roads. Traffic on the Jammu, Srinagar and Kishtwar-Doda national highways has been suspended, while numerous hilly roads remain blocked or damaged due to landslides and flash floods. Officials added that the pilgrimage to the Mata Vaishno Devi Shrine has also been halted as a precautionary measure. On to India's northern state of Himachal Pradesh, which is facing floods in various districts including Kullu and Manali, as River Byas continue to overflow, turning dangerous for lives and properties. The Chandigarh-Manali National Highway was washed away due to water pressure, as administration asked people living on the banks of Byas River to stay alert. People have been asked to stay indoors unless urgent. No casualty reported so far. And in sports, Sift Kaur Samra helped India continue its stellar run by winning 2 gold medals at the Asian Shooting Championship in Kazakhstan on Tuesday. The Indian shooter topped the standings ahead of China's Yuji Yang in women's 50-meter rifle 3 positions event final in Shymkent city. Heading into the final 2 shots, Samra was trailing Yang by 0.3 points, but the Indian held her nerve to score 9.6 and 10 points with her last 2 triggers. The reigning Asian Games champion also bagged the team gold medal with Ashi Choksi and Anjum Modgil. The 2 medals took India's tally up to 19, including 9 gold, 3 silver and 7 bronze in the senior events. That's all for this edition of DD India Live, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms, and you can scan the QR code on the screen to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live.